Coming up on Sports Night, we've seen the last of Jarrett Allen in a Texas uniform. Details on the big man's NBA draft plans. Tony Romo donned a different uniform in Dallas Tuesday night. We hear from the now retired Cowboy on his stint on the hardwood. Chip Brown drops by. Why does Chip think Tom Herman is already doing enough off the field to win the battle for Texas? Plus, we recap the Spurs matchup with the Blazers featuring poster creations courtesy of Jonathan Simmons.
And the crowd into it here at the Moda Center as they always are. Oh, Mama! That was terrible. Goodness gracious. The iron is still intact. And I can't believe that.
That was nasty. This is Sports Night.
Jeez, just sitting on a bench. Standing here today, I feel a little embarrassed, to be honest, just in the sense of that, you're lucky enough to be in a position, that someone cares enough to do something to honor you.
Yeah, it's not bad being Tony Romo. Welcome in to Sports Night. I'm Ricky Doyle. Speaking of not bad, the first meeting between Texas and Texas State on the baseball diamond this season was a gem. Bobcats walked it off in the bottom of the 10th inning, their first ever win over the Longhorns in San Marcos. We get the encore tonight. We change the locale, though. We are at the Dish for this one and the Horns. Remembering what happened last time, quickly getting to work in this one. Texas able to put up a 5 spot in the first inning, helped out by this. Ryan Reynolds just about got himself a home run off the top of the wall for an RBI double. Longhorns take a 1-zip lead. They led 5-zip, as I said, after one. Cats work back into it, though, in the 4th inning. Jalen Hubbard, RBI single, and a run will come around. And then it is Jared Huber later in the inning. He singles, and that'll score Hubbard, and the Cats trim the lead to 5-2. Threatening for more. Watch the defense from David Hamilton at short. The freshman continues to dazzle. Diving stop, guns to third for the out. And then in the 5th inning, Texas will get its home run this time. It's Patrick Mathis, and he unloads. Blast to left center, 7-2 Texas. Good to have him back in the lineup. Horns winners 9-2 as they get a little revenge on the Bobcats. Travis Raychek has more.
Ricky, that's right. The Horns pick up a big 9-2 win over Texas State this evening, and a big part of that victory was outfielder Patrick Mathis, who has been out for about, I think it's exactly a month since the last time you started a game. So what has it been like, kind of dealing with this nagging injury and working your way back to tonight?
Well, it's been hard. I've just been trying to focus on staying ready to play, even though I've been injured. So I just really focused on my swing in the cage and make sure everything was good. So when I come back, I was ready to go.
Okay, Travis, thank you. Solid win for the Horns tonight. Well, it was probably expected, but doesn't make it any more welcome news for Shaka Smart. Freshman big man Jarrett Allen will hire an agent and remain in this year's NBA draft. Allen had previously put his name in the draft, but not hired an agent. Most projections now have him going late in the lottery or in the middle of the first round. He was a third-team All-Big 12 selection as a freshman. In a statement, Allen said, quote, "I have had deep discussions with my family as well as Coach Smart in making sure this is a sound decision. I firmly believe in my heart, understanding the personal goals I have set and my love for the game of basketball, that this is the right decision to make." Well, the Spurs left last night's game in Portland with quite possibly the dunk of the year in the NBA. This gem from Jonathan Simmons in the 4th quarter. Absolutely filthy reaction from the Spurs bench, the best part of that dunk. They also left Portland last night with a loss thanks to this fluky final possession. Ball comes loose. Noah Vonleh in the right spot to lay it in, and Pop, well, he just laughed because he knows that game doesn't really mean a thing in the grand scheme of things. And now only one game remains in the regular season for the Spurs. They are at Utah tomorrow night to close it out. So, don't know many details about the Spurs' first-round matchup. What we do know is that the Spurs and the Grizzlies will be the two teams. The Spurs will have home court advantage. The game will be played either Saturday or Sunday for Game 1. Obviously, some things got to shake out tonight and tomorrow for us to have all of the information on the full NBA playoff picture. Well, you will never see Tony Romo in a Dallas Cowboys uniform again, but you saw him in a Dallas Mavericks uniform tonight. Bit of a strange sight to see Tony Romo Maverick for a day. He went through shoot-around this morning, then suited up on the team bench tonight. Apparently he's got a little game, too. Brian Sandler has more.
Teams honoring athletes from other teams in their cities is nothing new, but the Mavs took it a step further for their home finale on Tuesday, making Tony Romo an actual member of their team. He went through practices, meetings, and sat on their bench during the game. Now, the media alert said his pregame news conference would only focus on basketball, but of course we all knew that wouldn't work. So here's what he had to say about his real sport of choice.
This week has been special in the sense that people have made me feel that they appreciated me, that they enjoyed me playing and being their quarterback, and that it meant something to them.
All right, Brian, thank you. Romo did not get in the game for the Mavs tonight, unfortunately. The Texas women's basketball season wrapped up a couple of weeks ago with a Sweet 16 loss, the first time that the Horns haven't advanced a step further in the tournament during Karen Aston's tenure. Still, she feels her program is right where it needs to be.
I think that was the ongoing question this year was, did we give our team too much? And I don't know that I'll ever know the answer to that, but I do think that it is important to try to find some balance in that and be willing to go outside of the realm and play a non-conference game, maybe in the middle of conference play, to test the waters, but also put your team on a national stage and get them used to playing in that environment. I think that's important, and we'll continue to do that. I think we're in a good place.
All right, time for us to take a quick break here on Sports 9. Much more still to come, though. Coming up next, Chip Brown is here. Find out the off-the-field impact Tom Herman is already making on the Texas football scene. Back with that in 2. Well, things are picking up in the recruiting world for Tom Herman and the Longhorns. To help us break it down, we got our man Chip Brown of HornsDigest.com, AM 1300 The Zone. We got a commitment over the weekend. Chip, number 2 for the 2018 class. It's a good one? Is it good?
LSU has 13, Texas has 2.
Let's not count.
So, look, lots of time. It's not February.
If you're available to play running back in the Texas spring game, the Longhorns need you. Another hit to the running back depth chart tonight. Kyle Porter, who at times had been the only healthy scholarship back for the Longhorns this spring, is also now out with a sprained ankle. He won't play in the orange-white game on Saturday. Defensive back Devontae Davis also done for the spring. Don't expect the Horns to show much on Saturday, but Herman said the staff is making some decisions.
Pretty good is a good adjective or whatever you want to call it. I think we have an idea, a decent idea. Training camp is about getting ready to go play a season and win a game.
The Austin and San Antonio areas will be well represented at this week's state soccer tournaments with 5 teams competing. One of them is there for the first time in school history. Claire Brandon has more.
This year's Hendrickson girls soccer team is making history.
We worked so hard for this, and to see things that finally happen, it's amazing.
After defeating the Woodlands in the Class 6A Region 2 final, the Hawks are heading to the state tournament for the first time in school history, 2 years after Rennie Rebbe took over the program.
The kids had a lot of talent. My job was just to establish kind of a culture of kind of raising the bar, and the kids have met that challenge every time I've given them something. The coach can only do so much. At some point, the players have to take ownership, and this year the seniors have stepped up at different games at crucial times, and that's really been the difference, is them being determined that they want to keep their season going, and you've seen that in Christina scoring the winning goal against the Woodlands and Kinsley coming off and saying, we're not losing. That's what it takes, and as a coach, that's a proud moment.
The Hawks are set to face Keller out of the DFW area on Friday with a shot at advancing to the state championship final.
Dallas teams are usually the most physical, and they're usually pretty athletic, so we're going to need to match their athleticism and their physicality without giving up free kicks. We're going to get in there and we're going to battle, and it's going to be exciting, and I keep telling the girls to remember, this is kind of the icing on the cake.
And finally tonight, the state champion, the Lake Travis football team, honored today at the Capitol. Congratulations to the Cavaliers. The team spent time in both the House and in the Senate and showed off the gigantic new championship rings they got. They're getting used to that at Lake Travis. All right, that's going to do it for us on Sports Night. We'll see you tomorrow night at 10 o'clock.